Israel and Hamas militants appear to be moving closer to a ceasefire deal. A Palestinian negotiator says talks are entering a final phase. NBC's Raf Sanchez explains why some say negotiations have ramped up.
Even as Israel continues intensive bombing of the Gaza Strip, there are signs that a ceasefire hostage deal may at long last be coming together. Israel's defense minister was speaking to a closed-door parliamentary hearing yesterday. I spoke to a lawmaker who was in the room. He says the defense minister told them a hostage deal is closer than ever. And what's worth noting is this defense minister is very loyal to Netanyahu. He would not be out there raising expectations about a potential deal without a green light from his boss. Another potential indication, Jake Sullivan, the president's national security advisor, was here in the Middle East last week. He met with Netanyahu. He met with the leaders of Egypt and Qatar. But while he went back to Washington, the president's most senior Middle East advisor, Brett McGurk, remained in the region, and that is being seen as a possible sign that a deal is coming together, and it was important to have a senior American official to try to get it over the line. U.S. officials also saying that President-elect Trump has injected a real sense of urgency into this process. He was speaking at Mar-a-Lago yesterday and repeated his brash threat that, in his words, there will be hell to pay if a deal is not in place by the time he is inaugurated on January 20th. Raf Sanchez, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
A Palestinian official outlined the three-phase plan, which would see civilians and women soldiers held hostage in Gaza released in the first 45 days, with Israeli forces pulling out of cities. A second stage would see remaining hostages freed and troops withdrawn before the third stage, ending the war. Of 96 hostages still held in Gaza, 62 are assumed by Israel to still be alive.
President Joe Biden marked the final White House Hanukkah celebration of his administration, reflecting on the horrors of October 7th, 2023. The holiday gala is the second since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. Biden vowed he will continue to work to get all the hostages home.
Now, I thought being the first man ever in this role was going to be a pretty big deal, and it was. But it turned out that being the first Jewish person ever to be a White House principal was an even bigger deal.
2 years ago, Jill and I displayed the first ever permanent White House menorah, made of the original wood from the White House building. We displayed it again tonight to make clear that history and vibrancy of the Jewish life is woven into the fabric of America.
President Biden went on to say the horror of October 7th and its aftermath is still raw and ongoing. He's gotten over 100 hostages out of the Middle East and vows not to stop until all of them are home.